Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Gold. This is turn 68, and this is a pretty big one for us, so let's go ahead and jump into things. Alright, so we know we know what the big one is, right? We've got a battle here in Olivine City, or at least in theory that's the big one, right? But so we know we see a battle in Oaklands first. So we actually want to watch the Olivine City battle before we do anything else, or before we actually get to any of the other stuff. So before we want to watch all. Fuck, I can't talk right now. We want to watch Olivine City. We want to watch the battle before we see the battle report. So once we get to the Ecruteak battle, then we know we're there. Okay. So, let's check. We got... Oh my god! Okay, so with Auspex, we just found an inverted tower. And this is amazing. This is a... We'll check it out in more detail later, but this is a magic site that gives us a +4 air gems per turn, which is freaking ridiculous. That's wonderful. But it also gives us a recruitable Air to Mage, which is also really cool. It is, I believe, slow to recruit, so to really make any efficient use of it, we would have to build a fort here, which I'm not sure that we want to do, but it is definitely something that we could do. So it's a useful option, and even without, right, 4 air gems is amazing. That's fantastic. Next up, Augury got us nothing. Nothing with Apsu. We've got a Dire Portent, so we are vindicated here, right? In the conversation that we had previously about, even though it was nice that Atlantis killed Pewter City's god, it's not going to matter at this particular moment. We still can't contest his globals, anything that he wants to put up, because he has literally, even without globals, he has like double the gym income of anyone else. So we can't contest. So that's just something to note. So he has put Earthblood Deepwell back up. Next up, we have found a Burial Mound with Dark Knowledge. Very cool. That's another death gem for us. Slowly but surely eking up that death income. Arcane Probing got us nothing. Gnome Lore got us an Iron Cliff, which is nice. This province, the Obsidian Waste, is now an excellent province. I think it's like, I think it's up to like 6 income, so that's really cool. Another Earth Gem is always nice. Our specs got us nothing, and here is one thing. Okay, so this was our little raiding party that we had sent into Pewter City's lands, and we got magic phased. Okay, so I was pretty sure that he was gonna deal with this in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but I wanted to see what he was utilizing, so let's go ahead and watch this. Okay, so he's come in, and right off the bat we can tell, okay, he has bottles of living water. Very interesting, okay? And then we see he also has amulets of anti-magic and rings of regeneration on these Aerodactyl champions. Same kit on both of these, but that is very interesting to know. So that means that these Aerodactyl champions are relatively tanky, right? 80 hit points, decently high protection already. They have earth magic, so they can make that protection even better. Very cool. And they've got a series of pretty interesting attacks. So these guys are nothing to sniff at, right? So the bottles of living water come out immediately, and this actually might have gone in a slightly different manner, but, and we're going to learn from this, right? But our raider doesn't have any guards, so we get air shield from both of them. They insta-kill with their pretty high damage wing attack and bite as our Pokemon come down. Okay. We got a flying shield. Iron Will. That guy's gonna do Flying Shield now. Iron Will. Okay. So it looks like their scenario is Iron Will, Flying Shield. I think they had something else in there. And pop. So this guy actually comes down, right? And you see, as soon as he comes down, he actually takes a solid hit, right? Our black belt actually chunks him. And this is a scenario of if he had bodyguards, it's entirely possible that this Aerodactyl champion would come in and get killed. So that's something that we're gonna keep in mind going forward in the future. Oh, that's so cool to watch that. So we've got these guys, and the scenario is actually I think they might have been able to kill this Aerodactyl champion, but the rest of our leadership died, and these guys teleport, so they are instantly out. Like, they're just pop out. Okay. So, very cool, though. But now we know he has these little Magic Phase Aerodactyl champions. We know what the kit is. We kind of know a little bit of their capabilities. Very cool. Okay, so next up is the Proclamation from Atlantis. No big deal. Proclamation from Vermilion City. No big deal. Didn't capture any blood slaves. And then we have an Articuno, or a shiny Articuno. This is actually Ecruteak's god. So this is pretty interesting. Un momento. I think this might be a little bit loud. At least a little bit loud for me. So, I've been messing around with my audio settings here lately, trying to make sure that things are... Wow! Wow! Holy shit! Oh my god, it's a Water 9 Articuno. That is intense. A Water 9 Articuno casting Living Water produces 9 fucking water elemental. Or yeah, water elementals, but it's cold, so they're turned into ice elementals. That's intense. And it's paired up with a Mound Fiend, who is doing Raised Dead and Horde of Skeletons. That's pretty intense. Now, this isn't cheap for this Articuno to do this. Oh, so he's flying afterwards? Ooh, wow. Well, he's decently strong. He's got Ice Protection 5, so that's interesting. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool, but I definitely feel like this would die to any solid resistance. Okay, and so we're not gonna hit next. I almost did. We are going to watch this battle, and we're probably gonna watch this battle a couple of times. But we'll see. Alright, so our forces are arrayed like so. We have a massive amount of Machampions, this huge double row of black belts, more Machampions. We've got a cluster of Espeons, a cluster of Jolteons, 2 massive rows of Amphiroses who are starving. They're going to cannibalize each other. Got some Charizards in the back. We've got a line upon line of Machampions and Steelix champions. We've got our specials. We've got a Latios and a Latias over here. We've got Tarball. We've got Chuck. We've got Kyogre. And that's mostly what our forces are arrayed as. He's got 2 long-ass lines of fortresses and little clusters of other things. So he's got a bunch of Mareeps. This looks like it's province defense, right? Mareeps mixed with Magnemites and Raticates, or not Raticates, Rattatas, and then some Magnetons over here. He's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Steelixes. Shit. Or Steelix champions. Most of them are not kitted out, especially. Most of them do have something, like a weapon at least, right? All of them have at least a flask of holy water. He's got several schoolgirls, all behind that line, ready to ethereal them, right? He's got a couple of actual steelixes in the back. He's got his prophet, Vinian, up here. He's got a little cluster of random mages back here that aren't really... I don't know, they're not really going to make too much of an impact, I don't think. We've got the rock, paper, flamethrower, the shiny Groudon. Get it out a little bit. No gems. And then we've got the goon squad of the guitarists, right? Guitarists awaiting buffs. Many of these guitarists have some scurry stuff. Great swords of sharpness, gate cleavers, more great swords of sharpness. Some of this gear, I think he has taken off me, right? So this is some scary shit. And immediately starting, we have Heat from Hell, but we also have Natural Rain. So this is kind of countering already. And don't forget, we have our Latias is prepped and ready to cast Firefend. Okay? So we're gonna watch this from kind of like a high level view, and then we'll do a couple of rewatches where we analyze a couple things. So. The first salvo is pretty important because it does actually kill a good chunk of his fortresses. The second salvo, not quite as good, but it does do, again, look, like half of his line is already dead. The fortress half is already dead by the time my champions even get there, which is great. My Charizards go into the back, start wreaking havoc, and basically start messing around with this little cadre back here, which is why I didn't think there was going to be much worry, right? And the Machampions start to move in. Unfortunately, though, all of the Steelix champions are basically already impervious to my Machampions and Black Belts. But that's okay, because while this was becoming the fight, all of my guys have now buffed. My Steelixes, Tarball, Chuck, they are all beginning to move into the fray now as well. You may notice that there is no foul vapors across the battlefield. Which is unfortunate. Our Kyogre ended up using his gems on other things. It is what it is. And now is where things kind of get lost in the thick, right? We can kind of see Tarball is back here, flanking people, killing things. We're trying to kill the guitarists over here, but we can't because they're ethereal as well. Once again, no magic weapons strikes us in... Hoists our petard, right? There is some fighting going on back here from a guitarist, I believe. And now it's kind of gotten to the point to where I can't really tell much of what's going on. A guitarist kills our Latias, and then gets killed by our Kyogre or Latios, I believe. There's a Steelix kind of like rolling around back here, but then it gets a little fucked up. Chuck comes in and kills someone, and then moves to kill someone else, and then runs back. He gets a little like ping-pongy, and then we start to rout, right? Mass swaths of our Ambroses and our Machampions, and oh god, there's our Black Belts. Oh no, this is not good. Oh shit. But now we can't really tell, how much is left on which side. So we can see there are a number of individuals, but since we're both using a lot of Steelixes, it's hard to tell which, right? But fortunately, we are the ones who have won. A large swath of our army was routed, but we are the ones who stand victorious. So, let's take a quick look at this. We found an enemy temple and razed it. We ended up getting Boots of the Messenger, Kithrionic Lion Pelt, Great Sword of Sharpness, Ice Helmet, and a Burning Pearl. We ended up losing 2 of our black belts. They died to guitarists. Our Latias died to a guitarist. We lost 2 Machampions in the fight. But otherwise, we lost none of our important units. No Steelixes were harmed in the making of this battle. Latios and Kyogre were just fine. Tarball was just fine. Chuck was just fine. Everything else worked out a-okay. We lost 4 Amphiroses, 8 of our 9 Charizards, which they actually did a fair little chunk. Fighting against the province defense and that cadre of mages in the rear. We lost 22 black belts, which is kind of rough. 13 out of 13 shield black belts, 2 out of 2 shield blue belts, 4 dual Charizards, a couple Espeons, a couple Jolteons, etc. All in told, not too bad, really. Not too bad at all. Losing the Latias sucks, and it didn't have to happen. It shouldn't have happened if I had scripted things correctly. But I made a dumb choice and the game dumbed me, so it is what it is. Now for what Olivine lost, which is most everything. So, Ampharos Champion made it out of the battle. Lost 3 cool trainers, lost a gentleman, lost 10 out of 11 guitarists, although they did work, right? Holy shit. 3 trainer boys, 1 out of 3 trainer girls, lost a nurse, lost 2 veterans, lost 11 out of 12 schoolgirls, did not lose his god, but did lose 12 out of 12 Steelix champions. Hell yes, this is a big fucking deal. Losing all of his champions while I retained all of mine is immensely important for us. And then he lost the vast majority of the chaff that he had, most of which were fortresses, which in theory, most of these, they're immortal, right? Only we are on the location. He didn't control where they came from, so they're fucked now. They're gone. They're out of here. And then he had a whole bunch of province defense, which was just basic chaff. This is a huge fucking victory for us. And it's been a huge victory in the making, right? Or a huge defeat in the making, honestly. It could have gone either way. I think at the end of the day, the fact that we just had research and the ability to kind of like build up and boost up into other options made it to where Olivine just couldn't contest in a final battle like this. I mean, it helps that we had like double his numbers. If this was a more even fight, right, then that would definitely probably have not been the case. Also, it's not really fair to like look at this and be like, oh, you only had 274 versus 140. That's, about double. Well, actually, it's a little bit more than that, because remember, each of these is at double, right? It's not that we just had 99 black belts. We had 99 black belts and 99 Machamps. 13 shield black belts and 13 shield Machamps, etc., etc., right? So, this is a little misleading on what the matchup was, but not misleading on what the results are. So let's watch this again real quick. A couple things I want to point out. So one big thing, right, is the Kyogre. So Kyogre has enough gems to safely cast Mass Regeneration, Serpent's Blessing, and Foul Vapors. Foul Vapors actually was a very big deal. I put up Mass Regeneration first in the scripting instead of Serpent's Blessing, Foul Vapors, and then Mass Regeneration, because I wanted to make sure that everyone had regeneration and we had the best chance of this actually working out. But it actually cost me. Had I not done that, or had I correctly, because I also took off conservative casting, because I was like, look, I want him to use all 7 of these gems, keeping his fatigue down so he can cast these 3 things quickly. What he ended up doing instead is, I mean, we can just watch. So he ended up casting Mass Regeneration. Fantastic. And he used 4 gems to cast Mass Regeneration. Uh-oh. And then he casts Serpent's Blessing. And he used 3 gems to cast Serpent's Blessing. Amazing. Wonderful. So, had I had him on conservative gem usage, he probably would probably still would have used the majority of his gems. I don't understand that in the game. Even if you put them on conservative gem usage, your people are still gonna ignore you half the time. It's kind of frustrating. But on the flip side, they don't try to be like, oh well, he's given me this many gems, and he wants me to cast these 3 things that require gems, and I have enough to cast all 3 things. Let's make sure I use the gems, but that I am able to cast all 3 things. No. Let's not do that. Foul Vapors was a big deal, because Foul Vapors would have actually allowed me to kill the guitarists relatively easily without, because this group of guitarists, let's just watch, they stick around for a while, right? They get a whole bunch of different buffs. They're casting Fly on themselves, they're doing flying now, but now they're engaged, right? And because they're engaged, they're not flying away, and that's a big deal. This whole time right here, they could be taking Foul Vapors damage, but they're not taking Foul Vapors damage. And that means that they're killing all of these Machampions. And now these are free spawn Machampions. We're not super worried about it, right? But now they're in the air, okay? And they should already be dead. And as soon as they go up in the air, where are they going? They're going down to our leadership. And this is where we lose our 2 black belt goes. This is where we lose, I think, 2 of our Machampions, maybe only 1. We lose Robodan, which is sad, because Robodan is a Priest 3, and that's very important for us. And we've had him for a very, very long time. They just can't compete, right? And then we end up losing the Latias as well. We do end up taking these guitarists down, kind of. I think they fly away, and then this one gets paralyzed. Yeah. So, and I think they end up routing for the most part. But the scenario should have been they should have been dead, right? Now, if we had done this in a specific way, it's possible that maybe Kyogre wouldn't have had enough. It's possible that his fatigue would not have allowed him to do Foul Vapors for several turns into the battle. But I think we still probably would have gotten them anyways. I would love to see, either in a future patch, an update for Dominions, or in maybe like Dominion 6, right? I understand the appeal of the game of limiting scripting to where you only get to control a little bit of what goes on, and then the battle takes over, right? It's kind of how it's the warfare kind of concept, right? Like, a plan never survives enemy or contact with the enemy, right? That whole scenario. You go in, and the first things that you do as a general, right? Speaking from, like, if you were actually in a battle, the first couple things that you do as a general, they go as planned because you have kind of direct control over them, right? You're clearly advancing this line or this front or what have you, right? But pretty shortly after that, things begin to break into chaos and little pockets of leadership form, etc., etc., and it becomes this crazy determination on, what to do. I would love to see 2 things from a future patch or from a Dominion 6. in this relation. Obviously, I'd love to see way more than just two things. But I'd love to see two things, and the two things are, the first one is some sort of conditional system, right? Where you can be like, after X amount of turns, what would you like to do, right? So you script the first 5 turns of combat. Once the turn timer hits 25, what would you like to do? Because you might have the intent of like, the battle should be over by then, and if it's not over by then, I want out, right? So, turn 25, battle still going, retreat, right? Turn 25, battle still going, and I don't know if you've ever played like FF12, right, with the Gambit system. Give us a series of commands that we can kind of like tweak, right? If HP more than enemy, keep fighting, right? If HP less than enemy, retreat, right? Focus large targets, or focus weak targets, or something, right? Anything like that that just gives us the ability to affect a little bit of the middle of a battle, right? Rather than only being able to affect the beginning. Some way to show, right, like that concept of a battle has been going on for a while, but the leader of the battle is still issuing commands. And at some point, those commands are going to arrive to troops, and things are going to try to change, right? That would be an interesting mechanic. So that's one thing that I'd love to see changed. And the second thing I think is actually really simple, and that's giving more precise control over your actual scripting. Like, don't give me conservative magic usage. Let me specify, I want to cast this spell with this many gems. I want to cast this spell with this many gems. I want to cast this spell with this many gems. And then I want to cast these 2 spells with no gems. And then you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Give me... Our control is already so incredibly limited. Give me finite control over my gem usage. Give me finite control over... And put some sort of parameters on it, right? Like, maybe you only get to control... I don't know. It doesn't matter. You only get to control the amount of gems that you have paths, right? So if you're like a nature 4... you only have say over 4 of the nature gems that is on that character. I don't care. It doesn't matter, right? I think that that's complicating matters too much. I think it should be a pretty simple scenario of like a little number field going, I want to cast mass regeneration, and I want to use 5 nature gems to do it. Then I want to cast Serpent's Blessing using 1 nature gem, and then I want to cast Foul Vapors using 1 nature gem. I don't care where that puts me at fatigue-wise. Don't change it. Don't alter it because you think I'm stupid. Leave it the fuck alone and let me make my own mistake, right? I would love to see that. I'd love to see more finite control. So anyways, that was kind of the Kyogre guitarist section of the battle. I'm Jack and Jaw for 50,000 years. Let's watch another quick scenario, and we're gonna... I'm just going to kind of pick out one person here, and that person is going to be Tarball. So we're going to watch as he kind of like goes through. So we've got all the buffs, and the Weapons of Sharpness buff actually hit most of this front line of black belts, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's basically all of these guys got nothing. But we do have these kind of pockets of Machamps that are behind, and many of them got that are kind of like trapped back here, and many of them got hit with it. So that's cool. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch Tarball. Boosts up. Does his body ethereal, and he goes forward looking for a fight. So by the time he gets up here, right, it's that big cluster, so he kind of goes down and around on the side, and there's a second where it's like, uh-oh, he's going to run into the guitarist, and he kind of looks like he's going to, and then he runs past the guitarist and goes for a Steelix. So he gets into a Steelix battle, and the Steelix kind of pushes him around, and then the Steelix kind of like moves or something? I don't know. Or dies? I'm not sure. But Tarball just goes hunting for other Steelixes. And this is kind of what he does for the rest of the game, right? He kind of like ducks around back here and finds a Steelix and then goes a punchin'. Goes a punchin' and goes a punchin'. Rinse and repeat. And this is actually what many of my Steelixes end up doing. We've got Shy Call in here. He's actually fighting, and fighting pretty well, too. Because he's got weapons of sharpness up on him. It's fun. And you can see, right, like these, the rock snakes, even when they have body ethereal, when they get surrounded like this, they can go down if they get a string of bad hits. Ooh, like that, right? String of bad hits. 10, 5, 9, 2, 1, etc. Right, and then he heals for 25. So if they get enough... Ooh, nope, he moved. If they get enough of a string of bad turns, they end up going down. Okay, so Tarball does some cleanup work. It's hard to get in. Fortunately, again, the Steelixes having trample kind of like screws them over, because when they could be in scenarios where they could just kill the people around them and stay there forever, what they actually end up doing is they actually end up pushing their way out to things that can kill them, which is a problem. Alright, so, big deal, very big deal. We win in Olivine City. What else do we have going on? We have a battle in Vepitre where we just lost some Arboks, and this is actually kind of our own fault. We shouldn't have lost these. We just had them run forward, and then they got shot in the back by Amphiroses, so we've changed the scripting there. And then we move in on Gnome Peaks, and we didn't really... nothing big. Okay. This is actually a very big deal. We've got a province income event and province resource event in Ministra. So this is plus 25 province income. That's huge. That's an extra 100 income every 4 turns. That's amazing. This is probably one of the best province income events I've ever seen. It's truly astounding. But speaking of one of the best province events, or just events, Celadon got an event for like 3,900 gold or something like that, and a piece of gear and a bunch of gems. It is hands down the best event I have ever seen anyone get. It was crazy. We got alteration rituals are cheaper. We discovered a front, cured some battle afflictions, did some patrolling. We're getting more diseases. Yeah. Got a bunch of promotions, etc. Okay, so very big deal. We won in Olivine City. Amazing. Fantastic. Unfortunately, our army got kind of scattered. So we're in a weird position now where we're on Olivine City. His god, a huge shining Groudon, is here, right? He's got a number of other minor units here as well. And I think he actually has a small force here in the Swamp of Solitude. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to send out our this little cluster unit, right? They're going to have a very few amount of black belts, and everyone's kind of like just fucking diseased to shit and back. But the big thing is they're going to have the core of the Steelix champions. So they're going to come in and do what they can, hopefully finish things off with Olivine. And we're going to be moving a couple of these different groups around. We're going to hit Hallwood with Shy Call. And it's funny, all of the people, like, we don't have a priest 3 for any of this army now. Zenville is, but no one in these two groups except for Chuck is priest 3. So it's not that big of a deal. Our bless isn't crazy or anything like that. It's just a nice thing to have. So we're hitting into Hall Woods. We're moving some patrollers into Olivine City, or just to counter in case he tries to like do something tricksy, like sneak something in. We're hitting Bog of Beast. We're hitting Forest of Gun. And we're moving up to World Pillar in anticipation of hitting Dragon Scale Mountains. And we're moving Vilgo up into Obsidian Wastes. We are we have won the big battle, and now we're just kind of like we're trying to carry that momentum and run over everything. We do not want to give Olivine's. He is a good player, and we do not want to give him the opportunity to get his feet back under him. We might, doing this is risky. We might actually lose some people here. I'm hoping that that is not going to be the case, because I'm hoping that these Steelixes and Tarball and Chuck are going to be strong enough to carry us, right? But that might not be the case. So, what did he end up getting? He has Battle Fright, really? Simios is afraid? Unfortunate. Okay. So, I think we might actually fiddle faddle with this and strength of giants, right? Do like a legions of steel. Sure. Wait, did I not do that? Like I did not. Okay, so that is Olivine City. That's the Olivine City front, which hopefully is going to become ours very quickly. Atlantis, we're kind of hashing things out with Atlantis. Atlantis wants some of this land. Atlantis wants Trouble Bog. Atlantis already owns Dendra Nigra and Swamp of Solitude. I'm not really inclined to go kill his god and then give Atlantis the land, but I say give. Atlantis has asked about buying the land, and that's something we can look into. But at the same time, like, he's already kind of like crooked up into the land. He's on Windsong Forest, so maybe I'll see if he wants to trade Windsong for Trouble Bog, because I don't like having Olivine kind of like surrounded, and they're literally only being one direction out of it, and that being the Bandit Hills. I would like all of this territory, but Atlantis is doing a good job of fighting against Peter, which is basically he's the only person really fighting against Peter at the moment. So I'm trying to assist him in that, not combat him, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Other things that are happening, we are building, we had a little over 1,000 gold. Our income is actually doing okay. We had enough to do some things, not a crazy amount of things, but some things. We're building a temple here in the Great Dunes. We are recruiting another Steelix champion. I'm kind of going to blur through this because there's not a lot of stuff to really talk about. We're doing all of our site searching as we have been. If we want to take a look at our magic resource real quick, we got 14, 17, 17, 22, 16, 10, 6. That is not bad. The 6 kind of sucks. I would really, really like to have found more nature gems by this point. That's really unfortunate. But we're doing pretty good on a lot of other things, so that's really nice. We are moving this new Steelix champion down to Viridian City because I think this is probably going to be the next quote-unquote front that we have. In Viridian City, we are making a single fire white belt. Whatever, no big deal. And we're casting Future Fist Exploration. So, and we're moving someone out to potentially make a lab out here next turn. To continue doing the Future Fist Exploration. If it doesn't work out, we're not going to force it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Alright? But we will see. We are moving Ekis into Gwelladon. We're going to start taking this. We're going to do it slowly. We're going to move here, here, here. And then we're probably going to attack and try to break into Pewter City. So in the next few turns... And Ekis' force is nothing. It's literally nothing. So I actually want him to kill this group off, honestly. I want him to come in and kill the shit out of this group. So we'll see how it goes, right? What else? we are attacking with Lobomator. This is just to kind of draw his Pewter's attention. I kind of want to see more tricks he has. We've seen his Magic Phase, Cloud Trapeze, Aerodactyl champions. I want to see what he does now to handle something like Lobomator, right? What is his plan with a elfing kind of situation? Yeah. So we're gonna see about that. I'm moving Tereth into Viridian City. He's gonna get the Shade Mail Harbican. We've got a bunch of gear kind of like at the ready. I'm moving Wosen up. He had come down because he was going to do a little bit of a jump. He was going to do a little bit of a jump over to here, but he can't actually make it for whatever reason. We used to be able to make it down there, but now he cannot. So instead, he's going to go up to Viridian City, and he's going to probably assist in taking some of this land. We're moving a priest, a nurse out here. We're preaching with a nurse here. I'd love to get another temple up. We're still building in Debrithia. I want to get these thrones taken care of, and I want to do a little bit of infrastructure over the next couple turns. We're building basically another set of gear for Ishtaran. So a great sword of sharpness, armor of the knights, quickness boots, etc., etc. And we're putting up stellar focus this turn. So we're just gonna, I think we put 31 gems into it. I've been trying not to say how much I actually put into things, but if this game is still going by the time that this episode airs, I don't think it's going to fucking matter at that point, because I doubt I will still have Stellar Focus. I'm not sure I'm going to have Stellar Focus in the next 5 turns from now. So we'll see. But 30 gems to put up Stellar Focus real quick and potentially get another 5 income is pretty nice. Because there's only 2 globals up right now. And this is because Celadon City, it might have been this turn or last turn, but Celadon City's god died, and so they have lost both of their globals after Pewter City's god has died, and they lost both of their globals. So we're gonna go ahead and put up Stellar Focus. We might try to save up for a kind of like a low rank Galegate. But actually, no, we probably won't try to save up for a low rank Galegate. We might try to save up for a low rank Eternal Pyre, maybe. See how that goes. I think we have a better chance of getting an Eternal Pyre going than we do of a Galegate, but I don't really know. We're gonna have to kind of see how that goes. We've got a whole bunch of different random units just moving around. We've got a bunch of Crush Girls moving over towards Viridian City in order to try to become stealthy commanders for us. We got the Alchemist Stone last turn. This does not do what I thought it do. This does not do what I thought it do. This does not do what I thought it did. I thought Alchemy bonus was your... This. I thought this was your alchemy bonus. That when alchemizing gems, it would increase your ratio. That is not the case. And I think it's pretty fucking misleading saying that. What this actually is, and in fairness, it is kind of in the description, but this actually assists with the rituals. Was it? I think there's nope. 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 Did I skip it? I totally skipped it. Distill gold. So this assists with these types of rituals. Any ritual where you are turning magic gems into gold, the Alchemist Stone increases the amount that you get. So, for example, with that, you get 15 gold per fire gem, right? and you get an additional gold per increase per level past the fire gem, or past the initial levels. So for example, if we had Rex do it because he's fire 5, he would get 19 gold per fire gem that he alchemized. But if we put the alchemist stone on him, right, that gives a 50% boost. So I don't know if that is before or after the level boost. So I don't know if we'd be getting like 6 to 7, or if we'd be getting closer to 10 as a bonus. But in theory, we could have Rex do distill gold with fire gems, and he could pump out between 25 and 30 gold per fire gem, which actually isn't bad. That means we could do, and this is a legitimate thought, like this is actually a potential thought. We could do something like putting up Eternal Pyre and then making 600 gold a turn off of alchemizing the gems that we would be getting from Eternal Pyre. And that's nothing to fucking sneeze at. Like, that's, or sniff at, whatever the fucking phrasing is. That's good money. Like, honestly, that's really good money. So, I don't know that that's what we're going to do, but that's just something that we can keep in mind. I don't feel bad about getting this, because even at the very least, you know, it's a resistance bonus, and it's really cheap, so... And I learned something. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, that is about it for the turn. It's been a wild ride. I want to say, and this is not over, right? Like I said, Olivine at every single turn, every time we have done something to them, they have been able to turn around and screw us over in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm fully expecting, like, in this mad dash forward, I'm fully expecting to, like, get fucked on something, to, like, have him trap us, like, do a PD dump here and bring an army down, and all of a sudden we lose, like, half of our people, and, oh god, right, not something that is gonna actually get him back in the game, but just something that's gonna screw me over. So, we'll see how it goes, right? We'll see how it goes. Hopefully that is not going to be the case, but if it is, it is. We're kind of doing a Hail Mary mad dash, trying to make sure we keep him off his feet. Partially because we just need to, but also partially because I kind of want to regroup these armies. I kind of want to get some temples up. I kind of want to get some nurses up so that we can try to fucking heal some of these fucking afflictions. We're going to start losing a lot of people. We've already, every time we move, we lose some people. But I would like to reorganize these armies, and then I would like to hopefully be able to, like, convince some, because I don't know what, this is part of the reason why I'm moving scouts here and here, so I can try to get the lay of the land here. I'm hoping that as I open up this front, I'm also going to be opening up this front, and I'm just going to try to, like, bum rush Cinnabar City. This does kind of complicate things with Vermilion City. I don't know what the plan is there. I've already reached out to them. I do kind of plan on appraising them of the situation and maybe telling them, hey, look, I will move my stuff up this direction. Feel free to come in behind me and go, like, past or something like that. Or maybe I just like to say, hey, let me move past, and then you can go for Cinnabar Island, and I'll go up for, like, Goldenrod or something like that. So there's options here. I want to kind of, like, see where those options take us. probably they take us getting a fucking face full of pie. But we'll see. Alright, this has been way longer of an episode than it needs to be, but that was a very exciting battle for me. I thought it went very well for us. Very, very cool ending, or potential ending, to a very long war. Regardless of how things end, though, this is absolutely going to be the climax. This is absolutely the biggest showdown that we have been a part of so far, so that's really cool. Alright, that's going to be it for the turn. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.